Fact: 94% of this class has admitted to texting and driving at one point in their life. Texting and driving is the second most deadly form of distracted driving in the United States, above just careless driving, which I found very shocking because I felt that texting and driving would have been the first form of deadly distracted driving just because it happens so much. With that being said, 82% of teenagers in America own a cell phone. Of those 82%, every single person has admitted to texting and driving at least one point in their life, which I find absolutely very shocking, but not surprising at the same time. With that being said, I am here today to talk about all of the dangers associated with texting and driving in hopes that people will think differently before they do reach to get their phone or adjust any sort of gadget that may be distracting them and taking their eyes off the road. Some interesting statistics that I have found with texting and driving was that 2.5 million accidents happen per year. Of these, 1.6 million, or 64% of all accidents, have been caused by a cell phone or a distracted driver. 78% of all accidents on the road today have been because a driver was texting and driving. Texting and driving is 6 times more likely to result in an auto accident as opposed to drunk driving, which I find very shocking as well. But after looking into it, the average time that somebody is distracted off the road is 3 seconds. When somebody is looking at a text message, not even replying, just looking at their phone, they take their eyes off the road for 5 seconds, which leads to an over 100% chance of crashing their car before even just replying to a text message. If these stats aren't really doing anything for you, which they didn't for me, I have to tell you guys one thing. A car's average speed on the road from point A to point B is 55 miles an hour. The time that it takes to read one text message is 5 seconds. With just looking down at your phone for 5 seconds and driving at a constant rate of 55 seconds, you have successfully traveled the whole length of a football field without even looking up. Today, 52% of teenagers talk on the phone and drive. Of the 52%, 32% also text on the same trip. Every day, so 24 hours in the day, 11 teenagers die every day due to texting and driving. So that's about 1 death per 2 hours. Because you cannot get your license until you're 16 years old, I also researched injuries and deaths related to children who are passengers in the car of a driver who has been guilty of texting. 48% of children who have been in a car with a driver have admitted that their driver was texting. 1,600 children every year die due to the fact that their driver was texting. Very simple mistake, or very simple cause, but still 1,600 deaths happen a year, so it is something that has not been changed. Texting and driving, like I said, is the second most form of deadly distracted driving, so there are other forms that contribute to this. Some of those do include smoking a cigarette, moving objects, just like moving a cup from your cup holder to the back seat, anything, adjusting the radio, changing the climate controls, eating or drinking. A hamburger is the biggest one that I've read that has been a form of auto collisions, just because you're holding your hamburger in one hand and you're trying to steer the wheel in the other. I've been guilty of that as well. Not crashing my car, of course. Other passengers, and just, like I said, carelessness. Some people take their eyes off the road. They're driving for, 30 miles on one long road with just trees. People get lost in a trance. It happens. But not like I'm saying it's right. With that being said, I have been guilty of texting and driving and causing an auto accident. This right here was my first car that my parents had handed to me. It's a 2001 Nissan Altima. It was my beater car. I loved it, but I was stupid enough to text and drive, and I crashed it. It was deemed totaled, but because I did not have the money to afford to get a new car, I had to drive with a blown transmission. I caused $2,400 of damage to my car, and my insurance went up from $150 a month to $340 a month. And like I said, my car was totaled. I'm still paying back my debts to this day because I did not have the money to upfront it, so my parents decided to help me out. And because of that, I'm still suffering from something that happened 6 months ago. So with that being said, when I was 16, when I first got my driver's license, it was safe to say that I was naive. I was somebody that said, you know, I can look at my phone, it will not happen to me. It happened. Because of that, and with all the research that has been done in order to make this speech, it is sad to say that I am a part of the statistic of texting and driving, but with this, I hope that you guys do not follow in the same footsteps that I have.
Good job.